meditations of our hearts and minds be acceptable to you, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer.
Amen. So obviously I'm not Pastor Jerry. Shock, gasp, I know. But I asked to do the sermon because this past week I was participating in TEY. For those of you who don't know what that is, it stands for Theological Education with Youth. It's a program where high school youth come from all over the country to grow in faith and community with like-minded people. Highly recommend this program. There's also an adult program too. Just saying. That's my plug that I promised to give for this program. Now you're probably going, Charis, that's great. Glad you had a great time. What in the world does that have to do with this reading? Glad you asked. The program necessarily itself doesn't pertain to this reading, but the theme that we talked about does. You see, we talked about Muslim-Christian relations. And you still might be going, what? How does that fit in? So, this is what stuck out to me. Ruth goes to these fields in an attempt to find food, and Boaz is asking who this woman is. He goes up to her and he asks her to stay. He intentionally approaches her with the intent of forming a relationship. Let's not forget that Ruth is a foreigner in this land. She's from Moab. She's a Moabite woman that is now in Bethlehem. She believes different things. She believes in different gods instead of the one God that the people of Bethlehem believe in. She is different. She doesn't belong. She's in the minority. She knows she is different, so she's surprised. She says, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me, a foreigner?" She doesn't expect this compassion. She doesn't expect someone to come up to her and offer her a place to belong. She doesn't expect to be invited into this relationship. One of the best parts of the trip was when we got to visit the Hade Mosque in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. One thing that was continually pointed out to us was how they were constantly apologizing. They did nothing wrong, but they continued to apologize. The outside world treated them with contempt because of prejudice and assumptions and things they thought they knew, so they apologized. In a society of hate, they told us stories of love. They never treated us negatively in any way. They invited us into a relationship. Just as Ruth was a foreigner in Bethlehem, we were foreigners in this mosque. Just as Boaz reached out for an intentional relationship, so did they. With our current climate, you think they'd be bitter. I know I would be. But to our shock and surprise, they welcomed us in every way possible. They allowed us to break their traditions in their holy space so that we would feel comfortable. They brought us into open conversation with only the intent to love and to understand. They let the love of their God shine through them, and that was the calling of every person in that room, Muslim and Christian alike. When I thought of this, I thought of a beautiful song called "The Proof of Your Love" by King and Country. Hopefully it plays right now. Hopefully. If not, I have some lyrics to read off.
creaking of a rusty gate. If I speak God's word with power, revealing all of his mysteries and making everything as plain as day, and if I have faith to say to a mountain, jump, and it jumps, but I don't love, I'm nothing. If I give all I own to the poor, or even go to the stake to be burned as a martyr, but I don't love, I've gone nowhere. So, no matter what I say, no matter what I believe, no matter what I do, I'm bankrupt without love.
So let my life be the proof of your love. Let my love look like you and what you're made of. The people of the mosque didn't have to love us, but they did. We didn't have to love them, but we did. When Jesus calls us to love our neighbor, he's not talking theoretically. He doesn't want you to sit and think, but never do anything. We are called to actively love and serve everyone around us with no regard to the differences between us. Jesus' calling doesn't say, love your neighbor as yourself unless you don't like them. We are called to love everyone, and just like the video said, you should live a life of love to all the world so that our lives might be the proof of God's love. That didn't mean we were supposed to bring Christianity to the Muslims. We were called to love them where they were at and to bring conversation. Let's not forget that Boaz approaches Ruth, not the other way around. He doesn't wait until she asks for help. He goes to her and helps her there. That is the other part to this calling. God doesn't want us to wait for people to come to us for help. He wants us to meet people where they are at and help them there. This may be difficult, and this may be something that we don't want to do. God says, too bad. It's not a choice, it is a calling. If we are to let our lives be the proof of God's love, we can't sit on our butts waiting for love to come to us. We need to live lives that show God's love to the world, to everyone, regardless of differences. I know that I use the words call and calling quite a bit. That's because this past week was truly an eye-opening and life-changing experience. We are called and we need to acknowledge that calling. Along with this and the other things I learned, I know that I was inspired. I hope that in this time I have given you something to think about. If you want to know more about my trip and what I learned, I will gladly tell you. Just remember this. In a world of hate, lead a life of love. In a world where differences divide, break the boundaries and lead a life of love. Every day, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, lead a life of love. Go out to the people around you and actively engage. Form relationships through love. Be like Boaz. Love for the sake of love. Just love.